Well, good Saturday morning, everyone, and greetings once again from Radio Wasteland Records here in Midland, Michigan. Beautiful summer day here in early August in the mid-Michigan area, and I hope it is the same wherever you are. Sun is shining, temps are moderate, but they're going to get up there today. Lots of stuff going on here in the Midland area as well this weekend. No excuse to not get out and enjoy yourself. We'll talk about a little bit about that coming up here in a couple of seconds. But man, it's gorgeous looking out. It's a good day. I'm going to be here at the store all day though, but you can get out and enjoy yourself all the same. Hang on one second here. So nice out that I got a little choked up even. How is that? So let's say a couple of good mornings. Got a lot to get to actually today. So we will say our hellos and then get on with things. Gary saying good morning at Doogie's Hats. Good morning to you as well. Paul, happy Saturday. Coffee in hand. Good to go. I don't drink coffee, but man, you do it, man. Good day also to Ken on the other side of the planet. Good to see you here as well. Hope your, let's see, midwinter is going well for you, sir. Talked about that last week. Karen, hey, Karen, how's it going? Good morning to you as well as Jim. Good morning. I got your stuff pulled aside. Yeah, Jim, I told you that as well. Let's see. Robert, good morning. Another Australia. Holy cow. We're big down under, guys, and I do appreciate that so much. Thank you so much, Robert, for tuning in here today, as well as Mike, a little not as far south, but south from us. Mike, hey, how's it going? Hope you got your stuff. I think I sent you the tracking. We'll see from there. Okay, so lots going on this weekend. As I mentioned, Midland in the throes of its annual River Days celebration. If you're unfamiliar with kind of the topography of Midland, just off the downtown area, we've got a bridge. It's actually called a tridge because it's a three-sided bridge where two rivers meet, the Chippewa and the Tittabawassee. Wasn't so cool several years ago, but, well, when we had the big flood, but and the dam breaks up in Sanford. But every year, the Midland River Days kicks off. It is just lots of music, lots of fun activities for kids right down at the Tridge area. Hot air balloons, I think, were popping up either yesterday or today. That's always part of it per the weather if it's holding up. But lots of music going on down there as well. It's just kind of a really neat celebration. So if you're headed to Midland for River Days, or if you're headed to Midland to check out Radio Wasteland, much appreciated. But then go check out River Days too, because they got some fun stuff going on just off the downtown area down by the riverside there. But if you're coming in for that specifically, then you can stop by the store here and say hi as well. Speaking of saying hi, we have got Betty from Toledo. Good morning to you as well. I got a card from you. Thank you very much, by the way, for that. Let's see here. Sean, good morning. He's stopping in today. Happy River Days to everyone as well. And Mike, good. I'm glad you got that, man. Check that. I do have another Punk Floyd here. We'll talk about that in a second or two. So anyway, check out River Days. If you're in town, it's not too far here from the store. So have fun with that. Put on some sunscreen though. It's going to be a hot one. I think I saw the city of Midland in their municipal page posted. Make sure you're up on your deodorant as well, because it's going to be a little steamy out there this weekend. But hey, what the heck? Let's see. A couple of things going on to announce here. Yesterday, big release day. We did not get any of the Jack White albums, that surprise album. We didn't get any. It doesn't look like we're going to be able to. I know I've got some folks asking for it. I will try to get some, but they're already on back order from our distributors. If you tune into our podcast, the Two Guys Talking About Records podcast that I do with Steve Carlson every Sunday, I will talk a little bit more about the Jack White release and why we ended up not getting any here at the store. Apologies for those that were looking for it, but I do have reasons. We'll just leave it at that. But if you tune into the podcast, Steve and I will talk about that tomorrow evening, and we'll cover that. So make sure you check that out, please. It's good fun. Steve and I always have a blast putting that podcast together. Also, one of the other shows that we put on our YouTube channel is the new release show, which comes up on Saturday afternoons, usually about 10 and 15 minutes, just highlighting the highlights, if you will, showing the highlights of the upcoming releases for next Friday. But once in a while, we toss in a teaser for something coming down the line if we feel that it's going to be big. The Jack White one, I'll explain. That was kind of a surprise on us too. Not as much of a surprise as it was supposed to be. But again, I'll explain that on the podcast. But when we get a chance to give you kind of a really big heads up as for a release that we think is going to be big, we're going to do that, especially if it's a little costlier, which this one is. But yesterday, we had a lot of folks kicking in asking about the new Billy Strings. Now, Billy Strings just released that live, and it's a fantastic live album. But just announced yesterday is Billy Strings' new album. And holy cow, what is the name of that record again? I got to stop and think. We got the single off of that. Highway Prayers is the new album from Billy Strings, coming out on September 27. And this is going to be a big one, I think. Billy Strings stuff always sells really well, even if it's modern bluegrass. I'm digging it. I think if you guys give a listen, you might dig some of that too as well. But they just also released the first video for this. The song is called Leadfoot. I'm not going to play the audio, but I do have a little bit of video to share with you guys on this. This is the video for some of the video for Leadfoot from Billy Strings, and it's got a real Rat Fink vibe. For those of you familiar with the old hot rod stuff from the hot rod artist, what was it? Big Daddy Roth from the 70s doing the hot rod stuff. That's really got a vibe coming across on this video from the old Rat Fink cartoons. It is just fantastic bluegrass. It's modern. I showed the video to Kim last night, and she was, she goes, this is a little creepy. Not quite sure what to think about that. But regardless, it's a fun video. If you get a chance, check that out. But that's Billy Strings' new album coming out again on September 27. A little later today, in the new release show, I'll give you the specs on the price, and it's up there a little bit. I'll warn you on that, but I'll give you the specs on the price and the exact release details as far as we know them now. But if you're a fan of Billy Strings stuff and you're not too creeped out by that video, might want to check that out and let us know if you want to pre-order. Because the other day too, I said, well, okay, come on, that's September. Come on. Holy cow, September is almost here, for crying out loud. So probably a good thing to get that in. But yeah, that Billy Strings is coming up. Check out the new release show a little bit later on this afternoon, and we will get you up to date on that and all of next week's releases, the highlights thereof. So let's see, a couple more good mornings to kick in. Oh, Mike saying he got that, Punk Floyd. Good to know, sir. Good morning. Coffee Saturday as well. Fred on this west side. Hey, sir, good morning to you. I got a Rush album for you, too. Set aside. Next time, no hurry. Next time you make it in as well. Let's see. We're kicking in. The ZZ Top box set is out. 5 albums. Okay, I'll check on that. We'll see. That one may have gotten by me on the release side as well. So we'll kick it in. Dave saying good morning. Good morning to you, sir, as well. Yeah, the new Deep Purple out as well. I think we talked about that. They put out a box set on that Deep Purple. With a CD, DVD. We had a couple folks order that. We had a couple in store. I don't have any Deep Purple in now, but we can obviously get some more of that. Okay, onward. New releases from yesterday. As I mentioned, we didn't get the Jack White. I will talk about that on the podcast and explain myself a little bit as far as why that did not transpire here at the store, but it is what it is. Big compilation release yesterday, that Warner Now Playing series, the super cheap stuff coming out from these, and there were 4 of them from groups that I really wouldn't have pegged as far as, hey, we're putting out these compilations on Now Playing. $20 a piece on these things, and we have a compilation from the Stooges, the Now Playing Stooges. One thing about these Now Playings, and then this is something that we've talked about on the podcast as well, they're pretty much a template for the album covers where they just drop in the artist's pictures, but everything else on the back are pretty much identical. They just change the color schemes. But I think that's part of the reason that Warner is able to make these available so cheap. It's their answer, unfortunately, to the rising cost of other vinyl, is to put out stuff, new incarnations, new lineups of songs that we all have or know about, and make it super cheap. So the Stooges got some great stuff on there. Want to Be Your Dog, 1969, No Fun, TVI, Dirt, Down in the Street, all sorts of cool stuff. $20 and the Stooges Now Playing. The other one that came out was a Velvet Underground. I showed you that as well. The Now Playing of theirs. It has got the full length versions of Sweet Jane and Rock and Roll. I know I got a message talking about the from our friend Michael, so I'll check that out. But I think he's saying that these do sound pretty good. Who Loves the Sun, early stuff from the VU on there, as well as some stuff from live at Max's Kansas City. So again, $20 on these now playing. You really can't go wrong when they put out such stuff at such a low price point. The other two yesterday, again, love good psych rock stuff from these guys. And Captain Beefheart, go figure. Captain, it's an acquired taste, but here is, I don't even know if we can call this a greatest hits. We'll just say it's a compilation of Captain Beefheart stuff. So again, that's for me like Zappa is. It's hit and miss, and you really got to be in the mood for it. And maybe it's just me, but I don't get it sometimes as well. Other stuff on the shelf from yesterday's drop and new releases. We got a reissue of Quiet Riot and Metal Health. I don't know if this is anything special on this. I think it's just a black vinyl reissue. Released a couple of weeks back, but it was delayed, and we do now have it. The reissue of Clutch and their Slow Hole to China album. I said that. Did I say that right? China. So got a couple copies of that on the shelf and ready to go. Recent reissue, the Chicago Greatest Hits. They're 1982 through 89. So it's kind of their later stuff that we've got. And, I was a little slow on this with the passing of John Mayall. Last week, we only had a couple of Mayall ones, but I wanted to get some more in so I could listen to my Mayall stuff. But we do have some John Mayall on the shelves now for those of you that want to remember that blues legend. This is the Eric Clapton, affectionately known as the Beano album, because he's reading a copy of Beano on the front there. So that's the Blues Breakers with Clapton and John Mayall. I've got a copy of The Sun is Shining from Mayall, and we got a couple of used ones on the shelves too. This one I picked up, kind of curious about. I opened one up for quality control to give it a listen. Is John Mayall and the Blues Breakers, featuring some work from Eric Clapton, as well as John McVie and Mick Taylor on there as well. This is a live stuff coming from this as well. So listen to it yesterday. It's a live album from the 60s, but it sounds really cool. Recorded live in Bremen, Germany in May of 1969 from Radio Bremen. So not a terrible recording, not excellent, but it's also not bootleg quality. It's regular commercial release quality. Some great stuff there from Mayall. Other recent issues coming in. We got another copy or two of Stop Making Sense, the expanded version from the Talking Heads, and the aforementioned stuff from Michael, the Punk Floyd, the punk tribute to Pink Floyd. I think this is a fun album. It's just some really fun stuff. And then, I meant to show this earlier. The Billy Strings. There's the live one that was released, the Live Volume 1, a couple weeks back. Just an excellent live album from Billy Strings. So all of that on the shelf. I'd refer you back to our drop video from yesterday to check that out as well. One more hello, Rachel. Oh, yep. I'm wearing an Odin's Heart foundation. Thank you much for this, Rachel. Odin's Heart. Check this out, Rachel. And the folks from Odin's Heart are part of the Pause, Commit, Rise, the organization that helps with our merch website, where you can buy the Radio Wasteland t-shirts. Odin's Heart helps raise money for the caretakers of folks that are helping those with some debilitating diseases. Great cause. So check that out. If you go to Pause, Commit, Rise, you can link to that from our website. I do have some links up there, but check that out and check out Odin's Heart. And again, very cool stuff, Rachel. Thank you very much for that as well. And best of to you and everybody over there at Pause, Commit, Rise and Odin's Heart. So you guys do good stuff. All right. I believe that we are up on time. It is coming up on 10 a.m. here on the Midland side of things. Get out, enjoy yourselves, head over to River Days here in Midland. We here at the Wasteland, by we, the proverbial we, man, meaning me. The dogs are doing a quick jump with Kim today, but down not too far from here, but they're jumping today, so they're not going to be in the store. But we will be here from now until 6 p.m. this evening, Saturday, and tomorrow, Sunday, from 12 noon until 4 p.m. Don't forget the new release show coming up a little later this afternoon on our YouTube channel. Are you subscribed? Please do so if you have not. And then the podcast, Two Guys Talking About Records with our good buddy Steve Carlson, coming up tomorrow evening. We'll have a new episode of that up there. I think we're talking some greatest hits on that, but also we'll talk about that Jack White release and some very interesting stuff I've got for an upcoming release on a member of the Rolling Stones doing a solo stuff. My mind is blown. I'll talk about that in the podcast. That's all I can really say at this point. So make sure you check that out on Sunday evenings. Okay, folks, Until next week, this is Jim over at Radio Wasteland. Thank you, as always, for being here. You guys get out and enjoy yourself on this beautiful summer day. And we'll talk to you next week right here from Radio Wasteland Records in Midland. Thanks again for being here.